everyone, it's Jan with What You Make It, and I'm here to start what I hope is going to be a new creative play series for us, centering around working with this gel printing plate. Gel printing has been in the mixed media arts for a really long time, but typically it's been you had to be a little more sophisticated to use it because you had to know how to make the gel plate, and then, you know, a gel plate would only be useful for maybe one printing. But it's a really fun technique that allows you to create monoprints, meaning one-of-a-kind printed papers or cloth or whatever. And about 2 years ago, a couple of gals that loved doing mixed media but felt like doing gel printing was just too difficult for your average person to do, they created this thing called the Gelli printing plate, and I have just gotten mine, and I want to introduce you to it. It comes like this, and this is one that will not degrade, so we can use it over and over again. So when you get it, you want to keep the plastic, and it comes with this instruction book that tells you about the care of it, and it also comes with 2 pieces of plastic on it, and you want to save that. And I'm actually going to leave the one that is underneath on, because this, I believe it's made with silicone and mineral oil, and if you put it on, if you set it on actual like paper or a porous surface, it really is going to, some of that mineral oil will leach out. Not that it's going to hurt anything, but you want to keep it in as much. So when you take your top off, set it aside, and we'll clean it up. It's very easy to clean, but you can see it's firm. It's this one's about a 1/2 inch thick. It is firm. You don't want to use sharp objects on it, but we can do so much to add texture and do some monoprinting. So it really and truly, to do this takes very few supplies. You are going to need a brayer, and I really like the speedball one because it comes out, trust me, it comes out usually very easily. There we go, for cleaning and whatever. So you want a soft brayer, and actually you can use totally cheap paints. In fact, the cheaper, the probably better that they work, because you don't want the quick drying. These have more, these are ones that I have that are like $1 at Hobby Lobby or Joann's or something. These are all Americana paints, but they have a lot of water in them, so they stay fluid. So to begin with, I'm going to take some ink and put it, not ink, paint, and it doesn't take much. I'm going to put a couple of colors out here, and maybe just a little bit of green. So we're going to take our brayer, and we're going to cover. You want it to totally cover your plate. Okay, and I'm not wanting to totally mix the colors. I want them to be, okay, and I'm going to put this over here for right now, and then I'm going to take, I used a piece of just fun foam, and I cut it with pinking shears, and I'm going to just put some lines into it. Okay, that's pretty. And I'm going to put this stencil of stars down, and I'm going to take, and this is just some, and take paper, and this is paper that came out of a sketchbook, but it's, You don't want to use, you could really use anything. But you don't want to use really heavy cardstock. You don't need to. This is going to make some great collage papers. So I'm going to lift that up. There's our first print. Isn't that cool? I'm going to set that aside. Now I'm going to pick up our stencil here. Do that. Just set it aside. And now I'm going to take another piece of paper and put it down. And when we pull our next print, this is called a ghost print because you get a little bit different than you did the first time. So let me show you these. This is our first print, and then this is our ghost print. Very cool, huh? And we can start building with these. Now, we can clean this off each time. You don't have to. I'm not going to. I'm just going to build upon it. In fact, I'm going to just rub my brayer off over here so that this becomes paper that I can use at some time. And now I'm going to go back in. I'm going to add some new colors here, and I don't feel like we're needing to add any of that medium because it's going. I'm going to add, this is some white, and I want to add a little bit of this Bahama blue back in here again. Maybe just a touch. Okay. And let's brayer it. This is going to be so much fun just to create some papers. I can use it for my art journal. This one I want to take a stencil and put that down. And then I'm going to take a paper towel and I'm just going to pounce it. Okay? So I'm putting some texture from the towel. All I'm wanting to do is create texture in the paint. So we'll put a piece of paper down here, rub it. Okay. So there's our first print, and now I'm going to lift this up and I'm going to put, here's what I want to do. I want to turn this over. And turn this over, turn it this way. So now I have the side that was down, I have it, whoops, right side up now. So I'm going to get the ink from the stencil and from the leftover ink on that plate. So you see, every time we're going to get two prints, and what we do with those, that's very pretty too. Some of these that were our original colors. Let me put some white out here. And let's do some of this blue. So you can see how you can totally customize it. Now I've gone a little heavier on my paint this time because I'm going to print onto cloth. Okay? So I need the ink. Normally you want a very thin coat, but I'm going to actually do a print onto some cloth. Just some muslin. I've cut it into a sheet, and I'm going to put this triangle stencil on here. Then I'm going to take a piece of cloth, put it down, and I want to just press it down into the paint. And because it's muslin, I can see that it is picking up that paint. Pick that up. That's very cool. I'll lay that one out and let it dry. I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to do my ghost print with another piece of muslin. Because the cloth is so absorbent, that's why you want it to have more of the paint on it when you're going to use the cloth. Oh, look at that one. Isn't that cool? Love that. Okay, I'm going to do one more thing. I've left the ink on here this time, and I'm just going to run it. May need just a little more. So I'm using the same colors, letting them be a little more. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is take the stencil that we had, and I'm putting it paint side up. So this paint is still a little bit damp. So now when I take, I needed to clear off more space for us, didn't I? Okay, so now when I put my paper down, the paper is going to be getting paint from the plate and the stencil. And they're in the same, we use the same color. So they're going, I'm curious to see what we get. This is just so fun. We can, oh, look at that. Okay, I'm totally digging that. Love it. Okay, so I want to show you one other thing. Let me take that off. That's really cool. If you are using stencils that have words or anything like that, this print is going to be reversed. So put your stencil face down with the, okay, so I'm putting this down on here, and I am going to take a stamp and just touch all over here. Okay, and it's picking up some of that ink. So now when we take our first print, isn't that cool? And can you see the texture that by stamping with the stamp, it removes some of the ink, and so the background is textured. Cool, huh? So let me show you, cleanup is really easy. You can use baby wipes. You can do that. It cleans up really easily. You could spray it with just a little bit of water, and I'm using just a piece of muslin because I'm getting the last bit of the ink that's on here, and when I'm done, I'll have a piece of cloth that is going to be fun to use for something else. So you just take your time, get it good and clean. You want to clean the edges of it, and then you want to put it back in the box that it came in, and you want to store it flat. So I hope you've enjoyed this introduction to monoprinting with the Gelli Plate. There are so many more techniques that we could explore. So leave me a comment and let me know if you would like to learn a little bit more, and we'll do another creative play series with it. I'll be back to share a card that I made using some of these papers and just give you some ideas about ways you might take them and use them in your art. I hope you have a great week, and be sure and save some time for creative play.